All right, here's our last example for sealed bids, example 3. This one's a little bit different. In some ways it looks easier, but sometimes people struggle more because they're not really sure what to do with the numbers. So in this case, we've got 3 people that own a business together, in this case a flower shop. So they decide to break up the partnership. So what they're going to do is one of them's going to get the flower shop and the other 2 will get cash. So whoever bids the highest is going to get the shop. So we don't have anything to add up in this case. This is the total all the way around. Now remember, N is 3 because there are 3 players. So since it's already been totaled for us, to get the fair share, we just divide by 3. All right, so this would be $70,000 for the first person. It would be $80,000 for the second person. And let's see, 225,000 divided by 3 would be 75,000 for the third person. All right, so we've got the fair shares. So we want to see who gets the shop. So the shop goes to the highest bidder. I feel like that may not be stated correctly. Yeah, I think that was backwards. But so ignore this part because that is not worded correctly. All right, so she is going to get the business because she bid the highest. Okay, so she's going to get the flower shop. Okay, so we're still going to do the same thing we did in the previous problems. We're going to do fair share minus item. Okay, so in this case, Ann's fair share was $70,000, but she didn't get the business, so she didn't get an item. Okay, so she is going to get $70,000. Now, if we look at Bet, her fair share was $80,000, but she did get an item. She got the flower shop, which is worth $240,000, so clearly she's got to pay the difference, which is $160,000. So you end up getting negative $160,000. Okay, so she's going to pay $160,000. And then the last person, Chia, I guess that's how you say that, her fair share was $75,000. She did not get any items, so she gets $75,000. Now that does seem a little unfair that they get different amounts for A and C, but they valued the business to be different. So the steps are really the same here as they were in the previous problems. There's just not as many items to hand out. There's only one. So if we take the surplus, remember the surplus is always pays minus gets. So 160,000 minus 70,000 minus 75,000. So I'm going to subtract off both of those. All right, so we get a surplus of $15,000. And remember, the surplus is going to get divided evenly among all the players. So there's 3 players. So we're going to give an additional $5,000 per player. All right, so the last step says how much do Ann and Chia get for their share of the flower shop. So that one is actually stated correctly. So let's look at Ann. She was originally getting $70,000 plus the $5,000 for the surplus. So this is exactly the same as it was in the last 2 examples. So she's going to get $75,000. So she gets $75,000. And I'm just going to go ahead and put Bet in here because I'm going to do this the same way we did all the other problems. She owed $160,000. She had to pay that, but she's going to get the $5,000 from the surplus. So it comes out to be negative $155. So she gets the flower shop and she pays $155,000. So basically she's buying out her partners, if you want to think about it that way. And then our last person, she got $75,000, plus she gets her piece of the surplus, so $5,000. So she gets $80,000. Now if you just want to check that and make sure everything is correct, if we add 75 and 80,000, we get 155,000, and that equals what she paid. Now it didn't actually ask for hers, so you could leave that one out and just put she gets 75,000, she gets 80,000. But if you just kind of want to keep the format the same as the other problems, kind of keep the steps the same, you can put everybody in there if you want to.